Let's talk today about time signatures. To be able to talk about time signatures, we're going to talk again about time values. So, let's do the semi-brief. Divided in two gives us two minimums. When you divide it, gives us two four. Each minimum gives us two crotchets. And if you divide a crotchet in two equal parts, gives us two quavers. Ta-da-da, ta-da-da, and ta-da-da. I like to call it our musical tree because it does look like a tree, doesn't it? Ooh. And then, what happens here with our musical tree? You see, when you have one semi-brief, how many quavers does it give to us? How many quavers is within a semi-brief? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many crotchets we have from one semi-brief? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many minimums from one semi-brief? 1, 2. And the semi-brief? 1. And why do I get the semi-brief to do all these divisions? Because in modern music compositions, the semi-brief is the longest note we use nowadays. Before, centuries ago, we also had the brief. It's really rare for a composer to use the brief nowadays. So in modern music, we go from the semi-brief to semi-brief, minimum, crotchet, quaver, semi-quaver, demi-semi-quaver, demi-semi-quaver. But let's stop here for grade 1. We're gonna learn about semi-quaver as well on grade 1. But on this chapter, chapter 1, from the workbook, we just go up to the quaver. Okay, what all those note values has to do with our time signatures? Have you ever wondered, okay, we have 2 4 time signatures, and then you know, oh, I have to play, I have 2 beats in a bar. 2 beats of what? 2 beats of crotchets. Okay, and then if I have 3 4, I have 3 beats in a bar. Okay, number 2 here makes sense because it's 2 beats in a bar. Number 3 here makes sense because 3 beats in a bar. But why do we have this number 4 at the bottom? Why? Then we look at this number 4 and think, I have no idea why. And then your teacher might say, don't worry about it now. We're gonna talk about it later. And this later time is now when you have to take your theory exam. Because now I'm gonna tell you why we have the number 4 at the bottom, or sometimes 8, or sometimes 2. So number 4, if you look to your time values tree here, what note value is represented by the number 4? Crotchets. So the crotchets are represented by the number 4. Because we have 4 crotchets within one semi-brief. Great. Now this number 4, in some compositions also can find, instead of 2 4, you can see a 2 crotchet. So number 4 is just a representation of a crotchet, which means 2 crotchets in a bar. 2 crotchets in a bar. If you see 2 2 means 2 what? You tell me. If you said minimums, you're right. 2 minimums in a bar gives a C. Minimum is represented by number 2. 2 minimums in a bar. Now, if you have number, if you have a 3/8, means 3 quavers in a bar, isn't it? Yes. Now, semibreve represented by number 1, minimum by number 2, crotchet by number 4, and quaver by number 8. So that's why we have those specific bottom numbers at the bottom. 4 for crotchet, 8 for quavers, 2 for minimums, and even 1 for semibreve. Okay, you can find like 2 semibreves in a bar. 2, 1. That's why. Okay, now let's work on our workbook now. On page 5 from our workbook, time signatures 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. Circle true or false for each of these statements about time signatures. The top number tells you how many bits there are in each bar. True or false? The bottom number tells you how many bars there are in each piece. How many bars? No. The bottom number tells you which time value we're gonna count. So this is false. 3, 4 tells you there are 3 crotchet bits in each bar. True. The time signature is written at the end of a piece of music. I hope you've answered false, because a time signature is written at the beginning of a piece. The number 4 at the bottom tells you the count in crotchet bits. So is the number 4 the one that represents the crotchets? I hope you said yes. So that's it. Oh, important thing here about the common time, because they might mention it in the exam. Common time is the 4/4 time signature, okay? Because we also used to write it. Some composers, it's very common you find the letters, a sign that looks like a letter C to represent 4/4. As you can see here, you can find get your music, your pieces, and have a look at the time signatures, and you might find that instead of 4/4 you have this sign that looks like a letter C instead of 4/4. So that's called a common time as well. Complete the time signature for each of these rhythms. Well, you're gonna go for the easiest bar. 1, 2, 3. So what do you think the answer is? 3 crotchets in a bar. Go for the easiest bar. Oh, semibreve. What do you think the answer is? 4/4. And C. Go for the easiest bar to count. 2 crotchets. What do you think the answer is? Good. 2/4. And finally, D. Go for the easiest bar. Semibreve. 4/4. Exercise 7. Add 1 note at each place marked with this arrow to complete each bar. Let's have a look. 2 beats in a bar, 2, 4. I have a crotchet which gives me 1. And then, should I write here a semibreve? Of course not. What should we write here? Crotchet, 1, 2. Arrow, I already have a crotchet. What is missing? 1 plus 1, another crotchet. B, 3 beats in a bar. I already have a minimum, 2 counts. But I need to have 3 counts, so I need another 1 crochet because 1 plus 2 equals 3. Next bar, I have 2 crochets only, and I should have 3 to give me 3 counts, yeah? And finally, at the final bar, I have only a single crochet. 2 counts are missing. So, 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Now, 4 beats in a bar. Arrow. 2 plus 1 equals 3. What is missing here? Crochet. 1, 2. 2 counts are missing. What note lasts for 2 counts? Minimum. And finally, the whole bar is empty for 4 counts. So, semi-brief. Next, the whole bar is empty. No, we have a minimum. Can you see? We have a minimum. So, 2 counts are missing. What should we write there? I hope you said another minimum. Finally, 1, 2, 3 crochets. Plus 1, 4. Whole bar empty. Again, we have a semi-brief. Great. Now, the final exercise for this chapter. Add the missing bar lines to each of these rhythms. The first bar line in A is given. That's on page 7. Let's have a look. Page 7. Check the time signature. 2 counts in a bar. 2 crotchets in a bar. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, you do it first. Do the first. I give you 5 seconds. Too easy. Yeah, let's carry on. 2 bar line. Bar line because it's 1, 2. Great. Next, the common time signature 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's correct. Next, 3 crochets in a bar. I give you a few seconds to solve it, please. Okay, now let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Correct. Next, 4 crochets in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, 3 crochets in a bar. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now last one, 2 crochets in a bar. I let you do by yourself first, please. Okay, see if it's right. 1, 2, bar line. 1, 2, bar line. 1, 2, bar line, and minimum. So all fine. So that is all for this week. We worked with rhythm, and I look forward to seeing you next week to work on pitch.